Hello, my name's Kent Morlan. I'm an attorney who has been practicing law for 50 years. And I want to take a few minutes today to talk about the drug laws of the United States, including the, quote, war on drugs, which is not a war on drugs, and if it was a war on drugs, we lost. So, the federal government and every one of the 50 states make it illegal to possess many different chemical compounds that are considered detrimental to people's lives. Opioids, for example, heroin, synthetic opioids like fentanyl, marijuana, methamphetamines, are all banned substances or controlled dangerous substances, however you want to define them. And possession of them, with a few exceptions, is almost always a felony, which will get the possessor of the drug sentenced to at least a year in prison. And the distribution of drugs, which is considered much more dangerous and is often punishable by decades in prison. If a person is arrested and has a certain quantum of drugs on their person or in their possession, they will be charged with drug trafficking, which of course is also a felony, but is often punished by 10, 20, 30 years in prison. Also, if a person sells another person, say, fentanyl or a fentanyl-laced drug, and that person dies, then that becomes felony murder, which is potentially punishable by life in prison. There are many people, including me, who believe that the possession and use of drugs should be legalized and regulated like tobacco products and alcohol, because it is not possible for our country to keep these drugs out of the country. There's a demand for them, and criminal organizations are the suppliers. As I said, the penalty for drug possession generally depend on the type of substance and the quantity that the defendant possessed. Many states have created drug schedules in which controlled substances are grouped according to the level of risk that they pose and any potential for beneficial use. In these states, the schedule in which a drug is placed usually shapes the penalties for its possession. A defendant should not necessarily assume that they will serve all or any of the jail time attached to the offense if they are caught in possession of a controlled substance. For example, programs called drug courts are designed to help offenders who are struggling with substance abuse problems. If there is a drug program in their area and they are eligible, an offender might be able to get their case dismissed by successfully completing the program, or they might secure a reduction of their charges. Generally speaking, many people who do not consider marijuana to be a particularly dangerous drug, and the use of it is almost endemic in the United States. In many states, possession of small quantities of marijuana is now generally considered a misdemeanor, which is punishable up to a year in jail, but almost nobody gets sentenced to a year in jail for that. On the other hand, possession of heroin, fentanyl, methamphetamines, etc., is considered much more serious, much more dangerous, and will get you punished to a greater extent and more harshly if you're in possession of these drugs. More importantly, many of these drugs are addictive, and people suffer physiologically and mentally from consuming them over time. So, and it's very often very hard to get over being addicted to such drugs. Thank you very much. Have a good day.